You know that whole like radio don't play me? Rap FM plays you.
Vitamin heat, take your daily dosage. Who's next to blow? This is my show. Y'all failed explosives.
This is EROC, founder of Rap FM. You can find EROC on Instagram.
It's WRIP FM. If you really want to look for me personally, I'm at EROC, YOUKNOWEROC. There is a phone number in my bio on Instagram. You could call it if you want, but it ain't getting you nowhere.
For us hip hop heads, you know, it's a lot about the backstory. Where did it kind of like get going?
I mean, it all started way back when. No, it did all start way back when. Two pivotal points. Me being given my first radio as a kid. I think I was like 6 or 7. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. 3 pivotal points. I had the Big Bird record player back way back when, and I used to take my parents' records and try and like, you know, cut them up, and I get in trouble for all that. So I had that when I was a kid. I'm talking like probably 3-4 years old, because I was still in Brooklyn when I got that. But yeah, the next point for me was getting the radio and being able to tune in that dial and come across some of the radio stations that were good back then, and hearing stuff, you know, that 80s sound. And then my cousin, one of my older cousins was babysitting me one day, and she threw the TV on the channel UHF, and turned to channel 31, and here came Video Music Box. So for me, Ralph McDaniels has been a big influence. I mean, I love Video Music Box, so I used to take the radio that I had, and but I'd hold it up to the TV and hit the record button so I could get whatever music videos he was playing on cassette, you know, so I could get some music going. And I started to discover the whole, you know, independent aspect of it, I guess, like at an early age. And not that I'm like proud of it, but I used to make fun of my siblings and some friends that just listen to mainstream radio, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I understood it. You know, it got to the point where it was like, this is the same music all the time. You know, I mean, this is further on in life, probably junior high school, and I used to make fun of them, like, yo, why don't you venture out? There's this, there's that, you know. I don't know. I always dreamed of doing radio in some way, shape, or form, and I was always told it was impossible. We don't have the money, you can't afford it. You know, there were some other things, but you know, the internet came along,
right?
You know, and it kind of changed things. But as far as like the start, you know, it's the early 80s, mid 80s. I mean, I'm from Park Slope. I grew up in Mariners Harbor in Staten Island. So, you know, the hip hop influence was there. I mean, the graffiti was there. You know, I look right across the street from my window and see graffiti on the wall. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, you go outside, you hear the sounds of hip hop. You know, I was influenced by, like I said, some of my older family members and stuff like that who put me on.
Do you think that you're the type of person that likes to hang on to things, like nostalgic?
Yeah, motherfucker. Oh, sorry, I don't know. I'm sure I could curse on here, but you're straight I am. I mean, honestly, just whatever I had, like I cherished, because I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to get it again, or, you know, people out there collecting one thing. I was out there buying vinyl. You know, I bought sports memorabilia, but I could give 2 craps about the sports world. You know, I did see then, and I do now see the value in some things. Because
we're kind of like always trying to create the next new thing, but keep it about the original concepts of hip hop. What are we going to be saying about the music right now in 20 years? Do you think that we're going to be like, I need to get myself that 2017 MacBook Pro so I can get that dope vintage sound?
It's all up here, right? It's all what that person thinks, like, you know. So if they're like, yeah, I want to go get that, well, in order to replicate that, unless there's 20 years from now some AI, forget about an app, there's probably like a robot. You'd be like,
Right.
Yo, Robot Chuck, like replicate the '95 sound for me. Okay, boss.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yup. Are you a big technology guy?
yeah, I mean, as a kid, yeah, I always tinkered stuff, you know, or tinkered with things, not being from a certain background where it's like, oh, I could break my headphones and go buy another pair. Like, no, I learned how to solder things together. I used to open Walkmans up, and you know, a lot of the things that would go wrong with Walkmans back then was the headphone jack. So, you know, I taught myself that. I mean, before that, it was, you know, not knowing what's going on and realizing there's like a connection loose. So I would go get a piece of tin foil and wrap it around the plug and stick it in the hole to try, you know, get that main connection. Junior high school, I used to fix everybody's headphones. Oh, this side don't work no more. I take the headphone apart, resolder the thing, cut the plug off, go to Radio Shack, get another one. So, I mean, as far as that, yeah, but, you know, when the computer world came around, I was on it. I wasn't really embracing it too much because it was slow as fuck, you know? Dial-up, like, was stupid slow. So it was frustrating to get some things done, but I was on eBay early. You know, I'm talking 2001. I was probably selling records on eBay. I mean, I was up on some stuff. You know, if you even want to talk about radio and things like this and what we're doing now, like you have stuff like 88hiphop.com, pseudo.com. These sites were out, you know, in the 90s, like the late 90s. Way ahead of their time. I mean, so these are people that came before me that I was lucky enough to see what was going on. I couldn't get involved in it at the time, but it was what it was. I'm here now.
You're doing everything you can for the listener. Let's talk about your show lineup for Rap FM.
We'll start off with DJ Rez. He's on at noon. He's out of Canada, which is dope. And he's got a throwback show called The Throwback. After him, we have Cut Supreme, who does the Hip Hop Overdose. Cut Supreme's a maniac.
Shout out to Cut Supreme.
So he's on till right after Rez until 5. And then at 5, we have Sapphire, who's out of Boston. And, you know, so she's on from 5 to 6. And then after that, I mean, you know, before Rez comes on and after that, when there's no shows playing, we have what we call, you know, Rap FM, the rotation. And the rotation consists of music from 80s all the way up until, you know, today, for the most part. You know, when I say today, I may get a song today and be like, oh shit, this is dope, and I throw it right in rotation. So,
so you're able to keep it rolling 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah, we're 24/7, 365 plus one. And for those of you that are confused about the plus one, that's for the leap year. And if you're confused about the leap year, every 4 years is an extra day. That's where the plus one comes in. But I don't want to forget, we got Cut Supreme back on with the Trim Mix Party, and you know, he's on from midnight until 3 a.m. And then for those late nights, or if you're in another coast, you could catch a re-air of the Hip Hop Overdose from 3 to 5. I mean, it continues, goes on. And now we get into our Friday schedule, and what pops off on Friday. So,
it's a very dope thing, man, that you're able to keep, you know, relevant content within our own community. You're able to keep something going that involves us, you know. And, you know, props to you, man, for having a vision that includes, you know, the people around you and, you know, doing it for the right reasons. And you know, I just want to say to everybody else, you know, that might see this, make sure you go and check out Rap FM, and make sure that you go and check out what EROC's up to. And really the whole crew, everybody, Cut Supreme, Gorilla Grooves Radio, you know, shout out to Fred Ones, Rhinoceros Funk, and just everybody that has a place. It's all really quality. You know, you want to take a listen to it if you're into underground music. We get a lot of support from artist community, but you know, it's a challenge trying to find those international folks.
I mean, be honest with you, it's a grassroots company. Basically, it started off with word of mouth. You know, I mean, Yeah, you have your social media platforms, but to me, social media, I don't know. I have my love hate relationship with social
It
media.
could be gone tomorrow.
As far as gaining new listeners, it's just continuously going out there and spreading the word. There's things ideas that I had to do stuff that I was just ahead of technology, or to be, I couldn't afford to pay somebody some stupid, crazy price to get it done because the technology wasn't really there and they would have to create it from scratch. There's some forms of things that we're doing to get the word out there. And to be honest with you, I don't want to mention them. You'll see them when they start coming. Once we start doing them, more power to everybody else that takes the style that we're doing and runs with it. But that's what's going to happen. Like it always happens. I try and keep things behind the scenes as much as possible. Looking to get involved in more festivals. It's not who does it first, who does it last, who's doing it at the same time, it's who's doing it best. I'm looking to get back overseas. I haven't been overseas, and before Rap FM even started was the last time, to be honest with you, that I was able to go overseas. And so I'm like dying to get out there and get to some festivals and start promoting and meeting some of the MCs out there and stuff like that, and just linking up with people. It's all about cross promotion and and helping each other out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also finding that person that it's like you're gonna help them get up the ladder. They take the next step and then turn around and look at you and go, you know what I mean, and keep it moving. Like it's like they, I'm the type of person, I like to lend a helping hand. I don't like a handout. So if somebody approaches me with something, I'm like, well, unless we could both benefit from it, I don't want to be the sole person benefiting from it. I don't care how eager you are to be involved with something. Me as a human, I'm gonna feel horrible. I'm gonna feel like I took advantage of you, and that's the industry. So be upfront. Let's have an open, upfront, honest conversation, and we can move. Like, I mean, if it's not like that, then I'm a New Yorker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I've been hustled and hustled. You know what I mean? And I don't want to hustle nobody.
You were DJ EROC at one time, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's that started back when I was, I don't know, I think like 14 years old. I was DJing a party down in Staten Island on Van Duzer for somebody, and I didn't have a name. I just had the equipment. And my friend's father, he was like, yeah, EROC. And I was like, all right.
What was his reason for saying EROC?
I mean, my name's Eric. I'm okay. I'm always there. Honestly, I'm like, if you call me, I'm there. Like, what I'm saying? Even if I don't think I could do it, I'm going to try and figure a way out to help. So in that aspect, it's like, I'm the rock, like, Eric representing others' content, or EROC representing others' content. And if you want to see the arrogant, cocky side, it's, Eric rolling over competition. Like, what I mean? We could do it. Like, I'm not I've hung around the graffiti world, you know what I mean? Like I said, I know how it is. I played sports. I'm not a fan of sports, but I know how to be competitive. And sometimes I try and keep it at a bay because I could be a little overly competitive.
Some people are poor sportsmen. Like even in winning, you don't stand on top and laugh while you're there. And
humble all the way.
What was the last party you did?
That's a good question. I think the last time I was really spinning out was like 2014. I used to do some showcases, DJ some showcases. The thing for me, it really turned into like broadcasting live. I'm trying to say, I think the last event I did was like something for it was something with Doc Ock and DJ Toshi at Delancey was the last time like I and I think that was after 2014. But for the most part, 2014 is kind of when I stopped doing my radio show. I stopped lugging all my gear out because if I went to an event, I'm not showing up with a controller. I'm not showing up with just my laptop and 2 iPods. I'm bringing my 1200s. At the time, my computer screen was broke. So if you really caught me DJing, you're going to catch me with a broken laptop and a computer monitor next to it so I could see what music I was playing. So, that, and I was DJing those years and broadcasting live at the event, like from whatever event I was at. So, You know, I remember one of the venues actually shit, probably multiple venues. You know, the stage is up front, and the house, the house sound guys all the way in the back. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
obviously on stage DJing, and I'm trying to test levels on the radio station, and keep levels tight. And then all of a sudden you got the next MC that doesn't really know how to control the mic or speak on the mic correctly, and now his vocals are stupid loud, and I'm looking at stuff and I'm trying, and I'm like, you see me running off stage, going to the other side to go check the levels of the station, just for that person's set. Like, some of the things I did just to make sure shit was tight was like, like, I know people would have looked at me and be like, I ain't doing that shit, fuck that dude.
We find that anywhere? I mean, I know Rap FM's got a YouTube channel too, right?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. To be honest, I don't have that much stuff up. Because a lot of like things were getting thrown at me, and I'm trying to like keep up with it and like run with it. So it's like I would do one thing and then have to be on to the next and couldn't even finish, the prior stuff. But as far as those things, I have the audio sitting in the stash that I need to start. I'm gonna start putting it up on Rap FM. I went through it years ago to isolate some of the sets and stuff like that, because I'm not even gonna front some of the artists. It was what it was. Like, I don't know how you got on the bill, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
right.
You were on the bill, but I don't want to air it. I don't want to air it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. It wasn't up to your standard.
It wasn't up to standards at all. Like, so, but yeah, I mean, I've been doing broadcasting events probably since like 2010, somewhere around there. Like with, and this is before Rap FM was its own entity. You catch me at a venue and whatever. I go, I don't know. It's just something about live, whether it's DJing, instruments, whatever it is, just that live aspect. So whether I was at a hip hop event, a rave, it didn't matter, a house party, I had some sort of recording device, and I always asked if I could hook it up to the turntable, to the mixer or some sort of output to get the audio, just for my own personal, whatever. I would, I passed it along to the artist. But shit, I've been to venues with little tape recorder, the little news reporter tape recorder, little mini tape. I stick it in my pocket and just hit record and like just chill in the venue and record the DJ set.
So I can only imagine like OCD labeling and all that shit.
As I'm talking to you, I just see in the background, like for example, when I was a kid, if you could see the labels right here.
I can,
like from the cassette decks or whatever. I used to label all my vinyl, so I could easily go through it and find what I was looking for when I wanted to play it. I would write, I would write what was on it, and I would stick it on there, because one of the things in Staten Island, for whatever reason, it became trendy, was to steal the DJ's records.
Got any exclusives over there that people would possibly murder you for?
Hold on. I don't even know if I could get this into the frame, but I don't want to get murdered for the original Liquid Swords. It's kind of hard to see with the glare or whatever. But
all right, dope.
The original poster, all wear and tear. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I'll put that over there somewhere. I mean, I got my knickknacks, laying around. Magazines, cassettes, VHS, shit. This right here, which needs to, I apologize, nonfiction to everybody, needs to go into a frame, but the old nonfiction shirt.
Okay.
Dope. Couple of autographs on there. Shouts to them. It was at Fat Beats. I went into Fat Beats, checked out that show, got some autographs on a couple of other things. The starstruck thing is really not me. I've freelanced in the entertainment industry. I've done everything except for serve food. So I've been around a lot of names, if you want to say, pop artists, photographers, video people, high execs of corporations cut me my check, like, you know what I mean? Because you don't care about me.
If you ever did get yourself together a project, who's somebody that you would have to have on it?
As far as an MC?
Yeah, an MC or a
MC,
collaborator.
I mean, to be honest with you, this may sound crazy to some people, but Tame One. Tame One is one of my favorite lyricists. Pharaoh Monch. Again, I'm trying to jog my brain to the last thing you mentioned, having the opportunity to meet Nas. You know what I mean? He autographed his first album for me, Illmatic, with the comment of, you're the only one that actually came through with vinyl in your hand.
Wow.
That was cool. I mean, I got to chill with Wyclef. He was somebody who was really down to earth with me, you know what I mean? Like sat down on the couch and played Maria before it even came out, and was like, yo, what do you think of this song? And we had a whole conversation about, the Fugees, and I didn't know at the time, but the first time their tour started on Staten Island, I was at the show. Obviously, I'm telling them about details that happened at the show, so I couldn't be bullshitting you saying I was at the show, because it's easy to be like, I was there. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm telling you details that went on stage, you know what I mean, and shit that was happening. So that was an unexpected experience. I actually just got dropped in the studio. I was with Crazy Sam, and he was doing something with City High on one of the floors in the studio on 54th Street. And he was like, yo, just hang out here for a minute. And he opened the door and was like, yo, just chill, we'll be right back down. And I looked in and like Wyclef is in there. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, all right, Eclipse was definitely cool. I got the opportunity to go up to the halftime show when he was at NYU and be a guest on there for one of the mixtapes that I did, and just to support with Fat Beats with some stuff early on as a kid. Again, I'm no Funk Master Flex, DJ Clue, nothing like that, but I know I've done a few things that people looked and was like, oh, what the hell's that kid doing? I'm doing that. And the guy had a bigger name than me and it hit. So I don't really care. It's not about me. I told you, if it was about me, it'd be EROC.FM. I always put people on the music, or anytime you got in my car, I always had something different playing, and people like, yeah, what the hell is that? So, I try and put people on the things, and I was telling them about this kid Eminem, whatever. Everybody's trying to tell me about him, and I'm like, but I actually was at the show he did at Tramps when none of you knew who he was, and I'm like, yo, you guys want to come to the only show that he was doing in New York at the time? I think it was 3-4 months later is when things really hit for him, and he was at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
You find somebody new, you have the ability to shine the light on him now.
Just something I always did naturally. I just couldn't afford turntables. Every year, Christmas, I'd be in the JCPenney catalog. I didn't know what 1200s were, but I'm like, I want that turntable. Oh, maybe Santa Claus can afford that one, and every year it wouldn't happen, but it finally happened. And I have a good friend of mine, my friend Al, and I'll never forget, we were messing around one day in the house, and I caught 3 stitches in my lip, and as a result of goofing around with this knucklehead, and he knew how bad I wanted to DJ and just have equipment and do that, and we knew a friend who knew somebody who was selling 2 Technique 1200s and a mixer, which I wish I still had, a wooden Gemini mixer with the cassette deck in the top for $350.
Damn.
So my friend was like, I'm gonna give you $100 for every stitch I put in your lip. You come up with the $50 and we'll go buy the turntables. You know what I mean? And I cut I'm talking 13, 14 years old. I was cutting grass, shoveling snow, delivering newspapers. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I came up with the $50, and we went and got those turntables. And
That's
that
dope.
mixer.
And
And
you still got them? You still got the same turntables?
I have one of them. I have
Okay.
one. Unfortunately, I sold one to a friend, and I tried to buy it back from him, but he had sold it. They were European Tech 1200, so they had the
Okay.
European plug. But the mixer, to be honest with you, I'm more heartbroken about the Gemini mixer. Like, I brought it to somebody's house, it got stolen. I don't believe the story, but
Damn. Yeah, I don't believe it.
it is what it is. I mean, it's just the little handles on the side, the wooden mixer, the little
Yo,
levels,
if you
like,
ever see EROC's mixer, please return EROC's mixer ASAP.
yo. And if we're putting the word out on missing stuff, I'm also
Yeah.
looking for a silver Hutch Trickstar, which went missing also when I was a kid. And I'm telling you, I'm in my 40s right now, and I still drive around. I see somebody on a bike. My eye wants to look for, because like, the handlebars were specific. Nobody had that bike on Staten Island. I don't care what you said, and I'm still looking for it.
I had such a dope titanium bike. I had this. It was killer, man. It weighed like 3 pounds, the whole bike.
We're gonna hit up Jason Famous. He's gonna make some flyers for us. This way we can post up the bikes, the
Yes.
mix around town, so we can try
Yes.
to find them.
Jason Famous, you'll be getting a phone call. Shout out to Jason. Jason Famous Beats. Any events that you wanna Is there anything coming up that we can talk about?
There's stuff coming up, and it's coming up fast. Monday, Artifacts.
Okay.
That's Rock the House, DJ Toshi, Weekly Rap Gods, myself, Rap FM, Thank God Fam. I'll be honest with you, I don't know the exact spot of the venue. I can't retain all the information.
Yep.
But that's happening this Monday. You got the Cellar Dwellers event, which is going on July 24th. I think just look them up, because I don't want to confuse people. One's in Manhattan, one's in Brooklyn. I don't remember which one's what. And you got New Jersey Fresh Jam, which is happening. We're going to be there August 28th. There's something going on at the Hip Hop Museum in Harlem on the 29th.
Okay.
I'm going to try and be in attendance, but don't tell nobody. I also work. So, you know what I mean? So, I'm going to be working nights for the next couple of weeks on some festivals that have nothing to do with hip hop. It's all important. And you want to talk about events? Rap FM, we got events going on every day but Sunday, and those events are the shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
DJ NUT with Penitentiary Mail, DJ Hollywood with Break North Radio, out of Canada. You got the Wicked Takeover with Wicked out of Cali, DJ Rez, DJ Hollywood, Classic Storm Radio. We got a new Classic Storm Radio episode coming this Friday with DJ Toshi and Sunyaz. Yeah, Jason Famous and Cut Supreme.
Yep.
They got their show. Gorilla Grooves, Rhinoceros Funk, Migs. Actually, working with Fred Ones. I mean, this is somebody I used to buy his mixtapes as a kid. I didn't know who the fuck he was, where he was from. None of that mattered to me because it was dope. So I even remember having the conversation a couple of years back with some friends of mine, and I'm like, I'm supposed to meet with these guys, his radio show Gorilla Grooves, and I'm like, his Rhinoceros Funk is the host, and DJ Fred Ones, and I'm like, I think it's the same Fred Ones from the mixtapes that I have, but I'm not 100%, you know what I mean? Right. And they were like, does he write graph? Oh, he knows so-and-so. And I'm like, all right, yeah, it's that, you know what I mean? I'll let you know when I go meet him, and it ended up being to say thank you for being the real Fred Ones.
Yo, so in a way that's about as starstruck as you got then. And that's your guy.
If you want to label it that, I mean, yeah,
Yeah, we can give it to Fred. It's all right.
I would give it to Fred. I apologize, Fred. I try not to be starstruck. Of course, I get excited. I mean, like this record right here. I mean, you got P.F. Cuttin, Rock, and Sean Price on there, and I had the opportunity to DJ a show for them, and you know, for me, it was like some of these records I don't even want to put on the turntables. I don't want to risk scratching them or messing them up, you know. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with them? So I started getting them autographed. You know what I mean? Same with Serato. Serato records, you use them for a little bit, and then you know you throw them out. You go buy a new one. So when I started doing shows, you know, whoever was performing, I would ask them to, you know, sign the record for me. Yeah. I've had my moments. Yeah, I got to sit in on what was it? Pharoah Monch session for when he was doing the album Desire. They played during that session a Rock Marciano track, and this was maybe 2007 or something. Okay. And I was like, yo, you got to hear this joint. And it ended up being the track Snow. You know what I mean? Which I was just like, at the time, I'm like, yo, this joint's a banger. And then when it came out, I was like, yo, this track's a banger. Oh, wait, this is the one I fucking sat in there, you know, I was that Electric Lady. So, yeah, I mean, of course, I have my cool, you know, my experiences, but, you know, I try.
You're going to have to write a book or some shit just to get all your, you know, got to have the memoirs of fucking EROC.
So these... I only got 2 left.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg blunts. These were
shit.
These were supposed to hit the streets in 2005. So you know, whatever. We had big boxes of them.
Right.
We were running around. We got our hands on a box of stuff, and we were running around to all the bodegas trying to like bump them off. And of course, me being me, I'm gonna hold on to 2 of them. So held on to those. But just looking at that takes me back to the time of, you know, running around Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, stuff like that, you know, going to these stores. Like, I've done all sorts of wild shit. I used to sell fucking porno DVDs to all the fucking porno stores in like
hey, whatever you gotta do, man.
This is kind of crazy, but this is a crazy statue I got here.
Okay.
From,
what is that?
It's this wooden. Yo, dude, I don't even know.
Like a tiki?
It's a pregnant, it's pregnant or something. I don't know where it came from. To be honest with you, I totally forgot. But you got my man CH on there, gold bets. I know Tame One got the Tame One throwy on here in the corner somewhere. You know, Echo's on here, Topper. You know, it's just whatever. It ended up in my lap. No, maybe I should open up a little museum of shit. But some of this stuff I gotta get rid of. You know, you're gonna find some of this vinyl up on Rap FM, cassette CDs. I hate CDs. I think I'm probably gonna put some. I've beta tested to do an auction off the website, so that's kind of a go. It's just a matter of when I pick items, or you know, anybody out here listening is like, I got an item I want to sell or something. Hit me up. I'll be your hip hop Sotheby's. Dope. You know, it's a long road to get to where I'm at, and I got a still a long road ahead of me. You know, to get to where I want to go.
We definitely see where you're headed. You know, and I know a lot of us are along for the ride and here to help in any way we can. You know, I want to wish you and fucking Rap FM much success. You know, moving forward, and you know, keep up the grind, man.
There's something I definitely want to touch on. There's this word. It's called metadata. METADATA. It is extremely important when you are sending music submissions out. You guys are sending submissions to people, and you label the file. That's just labeling the file. That's not actually putting your artist and title attached to the track. That is what's seen through these systems, whether it's your phone, your iPad, your iPod, you know, you're listening to, you know, the satellite radios or, you know, whatever radio station you're listening to. If your metadata is not proper, it's not going to read. And guess what? I personally don't have the time anymore to metadata all the submissions that I get. I used to do it. You know, I just don't. And I've had to reject stuff that I really didn't want to reject, because it's like, I get in the email and I'll download the track, and like in the email it's attached and it says the artist name and whatever, and that's cool. And when I go to put it in the software to double check to make sure the actual artist field and the title field and the year field and the genre field is filled out, as well as the artwork or the album, like whatever field, and I put it into that software and it's completely blank. But, we're a legit radio station. So
right.
When reports go along, what am I going to put? Untitled artist, untitled track? How you getting your credit for your spins? If I'm telling the system, I want you to pull up a song from 2009, and the metadata is not attached to the year field of 2009, or I go in, I'm doing the show or somebody's doing the show, and I'm like, yo, you know what? Pick a year, name a year, any year. All right, boom, I type that year in. All those songs will come up that came out in that year. Oh, you want to hear a particular artist? I type the artist in. But if that metadata is not there, it's not going to happen. But the most important part is you don't get credit for your spins. You don't get credit. And I just want to say is, like, when you submit stuff to iTunes, you submit it like that? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, so don't do that here, because I can't accept it like that. And one other thing is, you know that whole like radio don't play me. Rap FM plays you, so don't like
get your metadata right.
Get your metadata right, and get that whole mentality that radio, that maybe the radio you're talking about, the FM dial, the Cold 97, or whatever other stations are here in New York and stuff like that. They may not play you, and if they do play you, I know they're playing you on a Sunday late night for like an hour. So you could jock them all day long. You could build up that station that don't give two craps about you. I mean, that's fine. But just remember, Rap FM with 24/7, 365 plus one, and that's what we do. And them shows aren't playing, and them shows are playing your music. You know what I'm saying? So support those guys. Like, they're playing your music. Just don't repost something. Like, actually go tell your listeners to go check them out, because back to what we were talking about was like, how do you gain more listeners as a collective. Thank you again. Again, thank you to Hip Hop Heads, which I'm almost positive has been supporting me. I'm talking back before Rap FM was even in existence. They had posted they used to post my mix shows. I would do mailings for like Joe Pesci and stuff. So I that's why I said when I seen the banner, so I'm like, I'm familiar with the site, and respect you guys for still being around, because I've seen a lot of come, I've seen a lot of go, and you guys are still here.
Shout out to Bucha. Shout out to Bucha, who goes through a million emails every day, just like yourself. So shout out to you guys.
I just want to shout out everybody that helped pave the way for Rap FM, whether you're still here or not. A lot of people come, a lot of people go.
Yep.
And so shouts to everybody who's still here. Shouts to all the listeners and all the new listeners.
All right, bro. We're going to end it with that. I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot for coming through.
Anything you need, let me know.
All right, bro. Peace.
Have a good one.
My shit slapping on the corner like mailing postage. Scale this dosage precisely for your diagnosis.